Hello, peoples. Hello, peoples. This is just not gonna be really scripted. I'm just sort of talking. This is me talking. This is me talking right now. I just want to yap. I've been getting back into comic stuff lately. I've basically been listening to videos basically just talking about like the history of a character, like a main storyline for a character and all that. Like I listened to the entire history of Spider-Man in like under 70 minutes, and it was really neat and really cool, and I liked it. And it made me have a more... There's two specific videos I want to reference. It's Alex Lennen, I think is his name. I don't know. Whatever his name is. There's two videos I watched, and it was, I guess, listened to while I was at work today, and it was the history of Spider-Man and Superior Spider-Man that I mentioned earlier. I didn't mention Superior Spider-Man, but there's a rise and fall of Superior Spider-Man, and there's the history of Batman, which is an hour-long video. It's really neat. I also watched Mullet Man's The Man with No Fear video, at least somewhat. A good chunk of Mullet Man's Daredevil video, basically. And it made me start having a greater appreciation for older comics, because, like, when I think of older comics, I don't really think of, like, the really big, like, sort of, like, I don't know, like, large, sort of, like, personal, integral storytelling that we would get with stuff like Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Batman, for example. You know, like, very personal, like, dissecting a character and all that. When, in reality, comics have been doing that since day one. There's just a lot of silly stuff as well. There was just a lot more, and there still is a lot of silly stuff in comics, you know, that never really went away. At least not completely, in my opinion. I think there's still a good chunk of silly stuff, even in storylines like Batman. Like, you know, it's... But anyways, what I'm saying is like, it makes me want to read older comics, you know. It makes me interested in what they sort of had to say, you know. Like, I want to read the original Spider-Man comics, the classic ones, and I want to read, like, you know, Silver Age Batman or whatever. Just I want to absorb, you know, these classic stories and characters that I know very well, but, like, I don't really know their humble beginnings all that much. You know, like, the story, I don't really know the stories we got, like, in their unaltered, you know, no sort of changing of roles or anything, just like the story as it was written. Like Kraven's Last Hunt, for example, or the whole Gwen Stacy dies storyline, or Superman Where is the Man of Tomorrow, or I think whatever, you know, like, or no, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, that's what it is. I don't know, it just made me really interested in, because I've always been a big, like, story person. If you've ever talked with me for any prolonged period of time, I am a really big person. Like, I freaking love storytelling and just seeing how art expresses itself in that way. You know, I like seeing art tell a story. And it doesn't have to be the most complicated story of all time. You know, like with all these like twists and turns and ups and downs, you know, triple agents and, you know, friggin' double crosses upon double crosses upon double crosses. I don't need a Kojima level story with all these bits and pieces going around for me to get enjoyment. No. It can just be a simple story about a guy who punches things. But, you know, it can just be a guy punching things. And I'll be like, okay, well, why does he punch things? And it's like, oh, that's what he does. And I'm like, oh, that's neat. I don't know where I'm going with this. I like storytelling even at the simplest level, because stories are the most, like, stories, art in general, are just the most human thing to ever human. You know, it's flawed, it's you know, it can be rough around the edges. There's a lot of emotions that go into it. We derive a lot of stuff from our own stories to put into, you know, the lens of, say, a comic book or a video game or a TV show or a movie. You know, we derive all these experiences and all these other, you know, inspirations, and we make them into something that means something to us, but as well as, you know, someone in the audience or the whole audience. You know, like, art means something to someone, and I love that so much, because even if it's the most worst thing ever, you know, it just sucks, it's bad, you know, like, not like right-wing political bad, like, I don't think anyone besides, like, the most the most brain dead people that were brain dead, you know, like, actual art that, you know, took time, but maybe it isn't really the best thing ever, you know, like Spider-Man 3, for example. Lots of people freaking hate Spider-Man 3, and I don't blame them. It's a kind of not great movie. I won't say it's terrible, because I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun movie. I think the same, you know what? I think the same thing about Batman and Robin. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's an awful movie. I think it's a fun movie. And I think the same thing about Batman Forever as well. Sure, maybe it's not a great movie. Maybe it's not a perfect masterpiece of a film. It has a lot of flaws. It has a lot of things that I would change to make it better. You know, lots of things that I would change up myself. But I didn't direct the damn thing. I didn't produce the damn thing. So when I see that, I'm like, I could change those things, but I didn't change those things, because I'm not the one that made it, you know? So I had to basically go, well, with the cards on the table, with the way that came out, I think it came out to be a fun movie that you can laugh at and have a good time with, you know? Because I would only say something is truly deplorable if it doesn't give you anything meaningful to get out of it. You know, something that doesn't give you some sort of thing to remember it by, you know? Like, something that doesn't really, like, stick with you afterwards. Because the worst thing you can do with a piece of art is leave no impact with it whatsoever. That's, like, my worst fear of all time, is making something and it just has no meaning. You know, it just doesn't have any meaning. It has no, like, not even like, oh, I just made it because it's funny. Just nothing. Just absolutely nothing to get out of it. You know? Because that's like, that feels, to me personally, that's like the antithesis to art and the beauty of creation. It's just the absence of creative freedoms, the absence of personality or anything, you know. It's just apathy, just nothingness, you know. And it's the antithesis to, I believe, humanity as well. You know, apathy is our worst enemy in these times. It's always been our worst enemy, because, you know, it's easy to just get nothing out of something. But if you come out of an experience and you get something out of it, and you actually, like, you know, like, even if it's just, oh, I thought that was funny, or, you know, oh, that sucked, at least you got something. At least it was substantial, you know, as a piece. You know, you don't have to like a piece of art to call it art. Because at least, you know, there was an effort that was made, but they didn't really quite make the mark on it, you know? And that's okay. Bad art is okay. You know, it's how we learn how to make good art. You gotta make a whole bunch of bad art before you start making good art. And I have had to learn that for years, and I still struggle with it. It's why I struggle with drawing all the time, because I'm like, oh, this is bad, this sucks, I hate it, I can't draw, get everything out of here, I don't know how to do this, and it just sucks. It sucks so bad. I hate it. But you know what? It doesn't stop me, and it shouldn't stop you. You just gotta keep going in these times, man. I don't know. I just really like when people, you know, tell their stories or make a story that means something to them, because maybe it doesn't mean anything to me, but it's personal to them. And I really like that. And I really like sharing stories with people, you know, and creating things with people that means something to someone else, or whoever I'm creating a story with. You know, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be seen. And I just cannot get over that, you know. Just having this ability to see, you know, the beauty of which that is creation. You know, art, storytelling, writing, directing, costume design, voice acting, animation, just every single thing under the book is able to tell a story or able to contribute to a larger story. And I just love that so fucking much. You have no idea. I want to be able to do that so bad. So bad, dude. You have no idea. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's about all I got here.